and welcome back to Disappointing Turtle. I'm Creed, and today we're going to be talking about those all-important royal duties. Let's get straight into it. We will start with the basics. So first of all, in order to get the crown, you have to win KVK. There's no alternative. So that's the way you go about getting that, if you didn't know, which I'm sure you are all aware. Every kingdom has its own way of choosing who they want to be king. They're all completely different. Some I have seen work by the same system that we do, so I'm going to talk about that. Yours is possibly very, very, very different, because each kingdom kind of is its own entity, if you like. So we choose our kings via the top 10 alliance. We have a rotation, so one fortnight it will be one alliance, and the next fortnight it will be another alliance. How they choose within their alliance is down to the R5s. How I do it in SRK is that the R4s vote for who they would like that fortnight. Generally it is an R4, but sometimes it may not be. I personally don't mind that if it is one of the other ones, because I think that everybody should have a chance and be given the chance to have that opportunity. It is the aim of the game after all. Being king or queen is very similar to the R5 position. I did a video recently on our R5. If you haven't watched that yet, check it out. I will link it in the description below. The only sort of major differences really is that you can either use it for good or bad, I guess. I mean, you can do that with the R5 position, but this is a little bit more blatant. There's different buffs, which are obviously kingdom buffs, and you can use these to either reward the entire kingdom by sharing titles and things like that, or you can kind of take them all for yourself, where you can take gold for yourself and award everything to your alliance so that you're the only ones that are gaining. Personally, I don't like to operate like that, but I have seen alliances that do that. But I've also seen other alliances that have been very giving and sharing and have prioritised people that are growing, that are going to be assets for the kingdom essentially. Once you've won KVK, you'll go into protective status, so a bubble will come up around your palace. And I think it's important to note that you then have a 2-hour window to choose who the king will be, to assign them that position. And this needs to be done by the R5 of the alliance that you've all fought with to take that palace. For example, if the king were going to be somebody in SRK, that would not be assigned by the SRK R5. That would be assigned by the R5 of the alliance that you won the crown. In our instance, we have a 4-3-3 alliance. I thought it was important to let you know this because it is something that I've actually been asked quite often, so it's here now and I can just revert people to this video instead of trying to explain it all. If you are one of those lucky buggers that ends up winning the crown, congratulations to you. You will receive this fetching little notice just here, where it very clearly encourages you to be good or bad. You can see there that it's saying about putting people in jail, which, I mean, if you've got a bad kingdom or a rogue or something like that, then yeah, okay, it's probably quite good. We have got kingdom peace, everything's great, so we didn't really need those options. And of course it says about giving out the titles, so let's have a look at those. So if you go onto your palace and you click on titles, you can see the people who I've assigned titles here. Basically, you can assign titles which assign various buffs, or debuffs as they call them, if you put people in jail and things like that. Each buff has its own unique of skills, they each do different things. It's important to note that you can change these every 24 hours. Some people don't change them very often, some people don't change them at all, and some people change them all the time. I chose to allocate and change mine based on troop loss during KVK. Those that had the really high losses, I gave them titles so that they would have perks to basically help them rebuild their army before the next one. The way that I did this was I went through the alliance leaderboard so that I could then select individual people and assign them their titles based on the list that I had, which I had to acquire from R5s. So I mailed each separate R5 leader and asked them to send me their troop losses so that I could allocate these titles to each of them. I used this same technique for handing out the packages as well. So I allocated the packages first by the people with the highest troop losses, again for the same reason, so that they can start recovering their troops easily and have a little bit of a helping hand from the Queen. And you can see that using the same process that I used for allocating the titles is the same process that I've used for allocating the packages as well. On top of these, you will obviously have other duties. So the thing that everybody will be asking you for is the buffs, and they're here. You can have a little closer look at them yourselves, but this is where you will find your buffs, like the 300% training buff, the Age of Science there, which gives you 20% research speed increase. I actually tallied all of these up with the raid event. So as we went through the tasks through the week, I tallied up these buffs so that we would have extra troop training speed, for example. There you can see the fielding boom. So all of these things do come in quite handy. As I said right at the beginning, every king, queen has their own sort of way of doing things. I tried to tally it up so that everybody could benefit. You know, everybody was getting a chance to have some really good perks from these buffs and being able to get some good rewards for them as well. We didn't take another kingdom in this instance, but I think it's important to note that if you do take another kingdom, then you can collect taxes from them, which is quite a nice little perk, really. You will, of course, have some other duties as well, and these generally come under the political discussions. I was very, very lucky. We don't really have anything going on in the kingdom, so the only thing that was really discussed was the strike and how people felt about it and whether we were going to take part. What we decided in the end as a kingdom was that we would only defend our palace and we would only attack if attacked, and that happened quite successfully. We did have one kingdom come over for a very brief moment. As soon as they realised that we were all fully active, they kind of left, and then we didn't see anything of them again, so that was quite good. Generally though, if you're having issues within your kingdom, you might have people come to you to speak about all those sorts of things, and it will be your job to mentor them, potentially guide them, and find resolution for any issues that might crop up. Obviously this is a really, really important job, so when you're selecting your king or queen, it is very important to make sure that you're choosing somebody that you believe is going to benefit the kingdom and everybody else in it. Thank you ever so much for listening to me go on about the crown. Hope you all have a lovely day. Don't forget to subscribe and take care.